It's Friday afternoon, and we finally have a line out on the Pittsburgh KC game. Landry Jones is expected to be the starter, but Ben Roethlisberger is listed as questionable. And we'll talk to Joe Duffy about the current lines that are out, if there's any betting value that might possibly wind up being a good play. Our line right now is KC minus 2.5. I'm Peter Loshak. You're watching SBR videos. All right, Joe Duffy, Landry Jones, I guess I sort of had him in Brandon Weeden territory in my mind. We played well in relief last week. Maybe he's not that bad of a choice to have as a starting quarterback for Pittsburgh. And then Ben Roethlisberger, questionable. What does that mean? Does that mean he might play, last minute, be announced as the surprise starter? I guess that's possible. Right, Joe?
It's quite possible. I really think that it wouldn't be that bad of an idea to even try for a middle here. Pittsburgh getting the points is a pretty darn good play, and you might wind up being able to get Kansas City plus 2.5, 3 points if Ben Roethlisberger does wind up starting. As far as Landry Jones, it was obvious. Mike Tomlin loved him. You'll remember Tomlin gave him every opportunity during the preseason, and Landry Jones was pretty mediocre. In fact, as good of a preseason as I had, Landry Jones kind of screwed me because I knew he was going to play much longer than quarterbacks usually do. And I think there were 1 or 2 games where I went with the over, waiting for him to justify Tomlin's confidence in him. And he did not. But, of course, in what he does in the regular season, as far as I'm concerned, as far as Tomlin's concerned, that supersedes what he did in the preseason a few months back. So Tomlin saw a lot in Landry Jones. A lot of people think he fits so much better in the Todd Haley's offense than Mike Vick did, but Jones didn't win the job at the beginning of the year. I do think he's going to be a fairly pleasant surprise. And the one thing that we saw with the Steelers, look, they have some darn good weapons. They have one of the best running backs in the league, and Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, one of the top wide receivers. So Landry Jones is not really all that bad.
All right. So, my whole assessment of him was based on his preseason results, which you just summed up for us, but you would put a lot more weight on what we saw from him last week than what we saw in the preseason.
No question. And Tomlin obviously saw some stuff in practice that he really had a lot of confidence in Jones, and he gave the job for Jones to win. So I don't think the fact that he was so-so in preseason nullifies that, especially in lieu of what he did in relief in the regular season.
And KC, of course, still having their numerous problems, most importantly of which I guess would be Jamal Charles being out. All right, so right now we have KC minus 2.5 market wide and a total of 43 market wide. Do you feel confident in either of those lines to give a pick on them?
Not really, to be honest with you. I was kind of hoping Ben Roethlisberger was going to play because I thought that Kansas City was going to be a pretty live dog. If anything, I do because, I've read the Pittsburgh papers online. There's still some possibility that Ben Roethlisberger could play. So those people who like to middle games, I really think that maybe if you want to go with Pittsburgh right now and then come back with Kansas City, if Roethlisberger does play, I think you're going to have a pretty good middle there. But as far as an official play for the purposes of this video, I think I'm going to have to pass.
Okay, fair enough. Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. But as far as for the purposes of your premium plays at your website, it's never a pass. You always have a selection of plays that you really like you treat. Right, Joe Duffy? Tell us about that.
We've had a lot of good years, but this is one of our better ones. We're following this after the Thursday night. Another 3-0 sweep on Thursday night. Wise Guy plays Seattle, Appalachian State under, major play on Appalachian. One of our better years that we've had in 28 years in the business, college and pro football combined. Have a humongous weekend already in store, including the AAC Conference Game of the Year, NFL, college football. Visit OffshoreInsiders.com for the updated details. But a huge weekend and a humongously successful year up.
That's awesome, Joe. And the under in the Seattle game, you actually gave us for free in our videos earlier this week, right, Joe?
Yeah, that was not a premium pick, but that is true. That was very close. They almost only counted horseshoes and hand grenades, but for my clients, they did not get that as a winner. It was a pass.
Okay, thanks so much, Joe Duffy. Talk to you again very soon.
All right, thank you, Peter.